All right. Sheriff's office, come outside with your hands up. This is the Marion County Sheriff's Office, come outside with your hands up. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Turn around. Turn around. Where's your gun at?
You got hands? You got hands?
You're going to be detained for
Is there anybody else in the house?
There's somebody else in the house. Can I just get my
No,
daughter?
no, not right now.
All right.
You're not under arrest. You're being detained.
Okay, I understand.
Come over here.
Wait, please close the door. I have two cats inside.
Hold
I
on.
don't want the cats to run out.
This footage shows the arrest of Susan Lorincz following a fatal shooting in Ocala, Florida. Police had responded to repeated neighbor disputes at this address over a period of time. Those interactions were documented through body-worn cameras and call logs. On the day of the incident, officers were called after Ajike Owens was shot outside the home. Emergency responders attempted life-saving measures, but she was later pronounced dead. At the scene, investigators determined that a firearm had been used during a confrontation. Lorincz acknowledged firing the weapon. Initially, the case was examined under Florida's self-defense laws. However, as investigators reviewed prior police visits, witness accounts, and the circumstances surrounding the shooting, prosecutors concluded that the legal threshold for self-defense had not been met. To understand that decision, it helps to look at how self-defense is assessed in law, rather than how it is often discussed online. Under Florida law, the use of deadly force is justified only when a person reasonably believes such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or serious bodily harm. This belief must be both subjectively held and objectively reasonable. In other words, it is not enough to say someone felt threatened. The circumstances must support that fear in a way a reasonable person would recognize. In this case, prosecutors focused heavily on the concept of imminence. The evidence reviewed did not show that Owens posed an immediate threat of death or serious injury at the moment the shot was fired. She was outside the home, unarmed, and there was no evidence that she was attempting to enter the residence or physically harm Lorincz at that point. Another critical factor was proportionality. Deadly force is considered a last resort. Prosecutors argued that the level of force used was not proportionate to the situation as it existed at that moment. There was no weapon observed, no forced entry underway, and no physical assault occurring that would typically justify lethal force under self-defense statutes. The location and physical separation between the two women also mattered. Lorincz was inside her home, behind a closed door. Owens was outside. Investigators concluded that this physical barrier significantly reduced the immediacy of any threat. The presence of a door and distance between them undermined the claim that deadly force was the only available option. Prior police history played a significant role as well. Law enforcement had responded to multiple calls from Lorincz over a period of years regarding disputes with neighbors, particularly involving children playing nearby. During these visits, officers repeatedly advised Lorincz on how to handle conflicts without escalation. This documented history weakened the argument that the situation on the day of the shooting was sudden, unavoidable, or unforeseeable. Prosecutors also examined behavior leading up to the incident, not just the moment itself. Self-defense claims can be undermined if evidence suggests the defendant provoked or escalated the confrontation. In this case, investigators considered whether Lorinc's actions and prior conduct contributed to the conflict rather than avoided it. Importantly, Florida's Stand Your Ground law does not remove the requirement that a perceived threat be reasonable and imminent. It does not grant immunity simply because someone feels unsafe. Prosecutors determined that the totality of the evidence did not support a reasonable belief that lethal force was necessary at that time. From a criminological perspective, this case illustrates the difference between perceived fear and legally justified fear. Fear alone does not meet the self-defense threshold. The law requires a clear, immediate danger that leaves no reasonable alternative. The arrest and subsequent prosecution reflect that assessment. They do not resolve every moral or emotional question surrounding the case, but they clarify how the legal standard was applied based on the evidence reviewed.